The legalization of marijuana is a constant argument that I hear among my peers and even among some of my family members. Based off of my values and my personal opinions, my thoughts are immediately directed towards the defensive. No, why would we legalize something that we know causes such harm to one's life in more ways than just physical? However, as we come to learn very early in life, not everybody sees things the same way. It is difficult, especially with such hot topics, to understand why some people think on certain topics the way that they do. But this is life. It is ever changing, sometimes for the better, but sometimes for the worse. Today, I'm not only going to persuade you to believe that legalizing marijuana is not the answer. I'm going to help you understand why it is an absolute shame that this drug is even in existence. In my several discussions with people about the drug, I often get the same argument. It's actually really good for your health. It even helps cure and prevent cancer. It's not dangerous, or it really helps you to relax and be calm. Although some of those arguments might be valid and true, they are barely scraping the surface of the further consequences of the drug. People ought not to be so naive in simply believing that this is a harmless drug that allows you to feel good for a brief moment. Study it, read about it, understand where it comes from and what it can do. If someone were to do all of that and then still choose to use it, be my guest. But it would be my guess that 98% of all marijuana users would have no idea where the drug's coming from and wouldn't even care to. As much as I dislike the drug and feel that it only brings negative consequences, I can understand why it would be attractive. Life is hard. Life is constantly changing, and it's very hard to keep up. I find myself wishing often that I could be like a little kid again with no worries and no stresses, and that I could just enjoy life. So if marijuana offers that slight getaway and the relief of your stress, I see completely why it's attractive and so heavily used. However, may I make the statement of, we are not here to escape our worries. We are here to work through them and progress. In the kindest way possible, it is cowardly for us to rely on a substance because we don't like the cards that life has dealt us. I live a very blessed life, and I don't always understand some of the hardship that many people go through. However, I am very aware that there are many things that we can do as individuals to bring ourselves lasting happiness. The key word there being lasting. Marijuana may give you the sense of euphoria and relaxation, but it is false, and it will only last for a brief moment. When it comes to our bodies and nourishing ourselves, there are absolute truths and there are absolute myths. Don't stand too close to the microwave, or burnt meat will cause cancer, or using vaccinations will give your children autism. So many different opinions are discussed on a daily basis. However, what are the truths about our health? Drink more water, exercise more regularly, eat more fruits and vegetables and more whole grains, eat your meat sparingly, and get the right amount of sleep. Those are simple yet absolute truths that will bring us a balanced lifestyle if we choose to be diligent in doing those things. Thus, you cannot tell me that a plant that was originally grown for animal feed, paint, and hemp rope is good for my health and can help prevent diseases. In fact, researchers have found just the opposite. After the highly sought after high come very adverse health effects. There are many that were listed, but according to the Lancet Journal, marijuana has shown to impair users' respiratory function. For those of us that are unaware, the respiratory system is involved with what allows us to breathe, an absolute necessity of life. Researchers have found that there was a moderate yet statistically significant increase in airway resistance and reduction in specific airway conductance in marijuana smokers in comparison to non-smokers. As time progresses, total lung capacity was marginally decreased with the increase of marijuana use. Just like anything in life, by smoking a joint or two, it probably won't hurt you. However, the harsh and sad reality of life is that most people do not understand the concept of moderation. Not only does marijuana affect us physically, it can affect us psychologically and mentally as well. Looking at the International Journal of Drug Policy, researchers noted that frequent marijuana users were more likely to act out in an aggressive manner than non-users when challenged on their opinion. The journal also said that there was a statistically significant drop in educational outcomes. Many may disagree with me, but knowledge is power, is it not? We may gain knowledge in many different ways, but we are all channeled through the education system for a reason. We are there to learn concepts and skills to help us throughout our lives. With this being said, I will be the first to admit that I am not an academic. I work hard and I study hard, but I do not test well, and it does a poor job of representing my own knowledge. However, in knowing that, I have done things in all of my power with my parents to put me in the best position to better my learning experience. I avoided all things at all costs that would hinder that experience for me. Research has shown that regular marijuana use can lead to an IQ drop of up to 8 points, and that regular marijuana users can have up to a 23% chance of not graduating high school. And about 78% of those people usually start using marijuana between the ages of 12 and 20. The saddest part about that statistic is that those are our years of adolescence. Our brains at that age are still developing and are especially vulnerable to drug use. Another harsh reality when it comes to education is that our education outcomes in our younger years often, not all the time, but often lead to our successes we see later in life. By having lower grades and by not graduating from high school or by not enrolling in college, it shows that individuals will have a lower satisfaction in life and will most likely earn a much lower income. We are all on the pursuit of happiness, not only for a moment's time, but for the entirety of our lives. In life today, there truly is such an emphasis on achieving happiness. We are always taught to find the things that we love to do and do them every day. We are taught that we should seek out stability while still entertaining a little bit of risk. We are taught to spend time with our families and our loved ones, to stop and smell the roses. There is a reason that we are continually told these things. It is because it is the purpose of our life, as I mentioned earlier, that we are here to learn and to get through our worries and progress forward so we can achieve a happy life. I was able to read an article about the correlation between sensation seeking and marijuana use in the Communication Monographs journal. Essentially, the drug manipulates our ability to understand true pleasure. By using the drug frequently, it gives users a false sense of happiness and pleasure and creates an illusion that cannot be met through reality. The thought of that frightens me. To be in a position where nothing seems satisfactory in life simply because we have lost our sense of true happiness and joy. What frightens me more is that most users are completely unaware of that fact. Just like anything in life, the more we lose grasp of moderation, unfortunate consequences will soon follow. Marijuana was not initially grown for our selfish desires, and nor should it be. I am not naive to the fact that this is something that is virtually out of the control of many authorities. However, if more users came to understand the impact that this drug can have in a negative sense, I think some opinions would be changed. The many effects of this drug are truly unfortunate, but the motion to legalize and normalize the drug is even more unfortunate and will have lasting effects should the policy be put in place.